17 years ago, when I was committed by the court to our psychiatric hospital, my psychologist sister arrived from Seattle as my first visitor. That morning, I spent 6 hours of mania scrawling 43 pages called Law and Gospel, which I commanded her to copy and distribute. She said, "Why don't you trust me to do what's best with this?" She was a check on my abuse of power. As I returned to the floor, I told the charge nurse that my sister had brought a suitcase with clean clothes. She made a phone call and said, "It's not in the room yet. Check back later." When I checked back, the nurse redialed the number and said, "There's no suitcase in the room. Maybe you misunderstood your sister." After sitting in my stinking clothes for a while, I returned to the desk. "Ma'am, I know she brought a suitcase. I need clean clothes." After dispatching an aide to investigate, the nurse explained, "If your sister had brought a suitcase, it would have been searched and placed in our storage room. It's not there. Sit down. I need to finish these charts." I sat down and pondered calling her Nurse Ratched, although she hadn't really earned that title. How does a manic mental patient convince the charge nurse that his reality is real? I recalled Jesus asked powerful questions in response to challenges and arguments. Believing it was my last chance, I stood at the desk and asked as calmly as I could, "Is there any way we could both be right? In fact, while you're charting, would you chart that I asked you, could we both be right?" Her frustrated face changed to pondering. She dialed a different number, smiled, and said, "Your suitcase was put on the wrong floor. I'll get it." I abhor the dichotomy of two choices in a political election every 2, 4, and 6 years. I enjoy conversations where we can share our different desires and find ways to meet our goals. I love listening to different experiences, insights, perspectives, seeking solutions. I relish both and, not either or answers where we can both be right. But here we are with the civic responsibility to make another dichotomous decision. How do you listen to the needs and desires of others in reaching solutions? When have you experienced situations where we can both be right? When have you had to make a clear choice?